Hi there, I'm Bill Powers. I'm an attorney in North Carolina. I help people with different criminal matters, DWI, DUI, whatever you want to call it, traffic tickets, license revocations, things of that nature. And we get these questions, they're posted online on public forums, and it's been pretty popular where we answer a general question. I do invite you to call if you have more specific questions. If we can help you, we'll let you know. If we need to recommend you maybe call someone else in a different jurisdiction, we'll do our best to point you in the right direction there too. This is a good one because we have a lot of content online regarding traffic tickets and the things we're looking at. I'm seeing this more and more, especially in the era of what I call the DIY, the do-it-yourself, where someone has, they talk to Uncle Freddie, they research everything they can online, they go to court to handle themselves, and then, in this instance, 4 years later, they're saying, can I reopen the case? I don't like what's happened to my insurance rates. I'm having trouble getting a job. This is, the question here is, and I'm going to paraphrase portions of it, but it says, can I reopen a speeding ticket case that suspended my license after 4 years? I was going 95 and a 65 on a country road. I moved out of state and I've not driven a vehicle since, well, several years ago. It sounds like it's one of those states that you don't have to have a car. Maybe there's good public transportation. Now I moved back again and I need to finally settle this with my license. I don't want to contest it. I was absolutely at fault. How do I reopen my case? Is there any way I could represent myself, as fees are quite expensive? Okay, let's go backwards on this particular one. Yes, you can always represent yourself in the courts of North Carolina in traffic tickets, criminal matters. There are some more serious matters that the court may appoint an alternate or alternative counsel for you, first-degree murder, where someone says, I want to represent myself, and they say, I don't necessarily recommend that, but I'm going to appoint a lawyer to sit next to you just in case. That's not one of these. In fact, it would be surprising to hear that someone would be appointed counsel on a speeding ticket, although a bad speeding ticket, admittedly, and technically a criminal violation. 95 and a 65 has implications not just with North Carolina Department of Transportation Division of Motor Vehicles, DMV, mouthful, and the criminal court system. So yes, you can handle it yourself. But the word can and should are important differences. Yes, you can, and, or should you? Probably not. And for several reasons, the first of which is that just getting it added back on into court may be a bit more complicated than even is asked here. In fact, in some jurisdictions, if this person called me, I'd want to ask a series of questions, most notably, is there a warrant out? Meaning, did you miss court? Is there an order for arrest? Is there something out there that if you came back into the jurisdiction, would they arrest you, put the handcuffs on you, take you to jail, make you post bond? We lawyers can check sometimes online these things. We're at the courthouses pretty regularly. We can just, when we open up a file, we go to the clerk of court's office and we check the system, ask them to pull old files. Some jurisdictions microfilm or microfiche them. Some of them keep them just in the back, and normally there's just a process of asking for that particular file, trying to find the file first by the name or the case number in a particular jurisdiction, and then making copies of it. And then the second step is trying to figure out through the district attorney's office how you get the case reactivated. Now, some traffic matters in North Carolina can be handled by waiver. Even ones where there's outstanding process. Sometimes some jurisdictions, Charlotte is one, where we can have a conversation with the DA. They may reduce a matter or negotiate something else on a ticket. And then without even going back into court, if we have something worked out where there's an agreement of paying cost and sometimes there's some pretty hefty fines and late fees, sometimes that's possible. This may be one not so much, kind of depends. There are other times where we just have to do, locally we call it an add-on, other jurisdictions have different terms for it, but where we actually, by agreement with the state, have the clerk of court's office put it back onto an active calendar. put it on a date where the original officer is there or available. That's a big if. 3 or 4 years, that's not that long. I mean, I've had cases, well, I've seen it both ways. I've had cases 3 or 4 years and the officer is no longer on the force and not available. I've had cases 20 years where the officer not only is available, but actually, gosh, we had one guy that he made copies of everything and had the original photographs and original notes and everything that he kept in a personal file. So we'd want to look into those type of deals. But if you get it back into the system, we then want to pull an official record from North Carolina and see what our options are. Now, that speed in and of itself is one that, in addition to being a criminal violation, is also one that would revoke your driver's license and really result in some pretty substantial insurance premiums. As I like to explain traffic tickets to people, there's more than one way to suspend your driver's license. In North Carolina, it's like the 12 days of Christmas. It's the gift that DMV keeps giving. In this instance, any speed greater than 80 miles an hour. There are times where you have more than a certain number of moving violations over a certain number of speed within a certain time period that can revoke. It's a complicated one. Are lawyers expensive at times? Yes. Frankly, we try to charge fees commensurate with the amount of work that we're going to do. Most lawyers will explain to you why they're charging what they're charging. We try to charge a flat rate where possible. We don't charge for the consultation. We generally don't charge hourly rates for criminal cases. There are exceptions. I'll put a little asterisk right there. But in most instances, we would want to ask a series of questions about, was there something else other than just that speed? Was there a reckless driving? Was there a failure to heed? Was there a blue lights and siren violation? What else is going on at that particular speed? What was the nature and the circumstances of the fact scenario? Then what else is on your record? What else have you had in this state and in other states? What else have you been convicted of? And then we would want to start our conversation with district attorney and try to work something out. It's possible that we can handle these by waiver. There are other times in some jurisdictions where the only way to fix it is to have you come to court and turn yourself in. Either way, great question. Lawyers generally don't charge anything, at least we don't, to answer questions. If you have questions, call us. Our telephone number is 704-342-HELP. 704-342-4357. That's what we do. We try to help people. If we can help you out, we'll let you know. If it's in a jurisdiction where it's just not financially smart for you to hire our firm, maybe we can give you a name of someone if we know someone in that jurisdiction. No, we're not a lawyer referral service, but we do help people out, look them up online, look up lawyers online, do whatever we can, at least point you in the right direction. So great question. If you have more inquiries, please send them to us. Talk to you soon.